morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Hello. And so we are at this week's Positive Prime Tour, and I can see we are joined by the absolutely fabulous Jackie Simmons, who is one of our very special Positive Prime ambassadors. That means that she is one of those exquisite human beings who supports Positive Prime, is a star within the Positive Prime environment. She provides a beautiful experience for people that includes Positive Prime. Yes, she's a qualified coach. She's been through our certification program and she actually has content, and it is absolutely bizarre that she has shown up here for this particular session because I wasn't expecting to see her. So I can see that we've also got some other guests. This is something that we do every single week just to give you a little bit of a quick orientation of Positive Prime so that you can make the most of it. And what I think is incredible is that I literally half an hour ago thought, you know what, today I'm going to focus on one aspect, and that one aspect is I'm going to focus on our Positive Prime authors, our contributors, the people who we're co-creating with. So let me just share the screen really quickly, and I want to show you something really fascinating. The minute that you log in, you're here at our dashboard, right? So if you click on dashboard, you'll come back to the central place that is within this positivity experience. And you will see that there are several sessions. Positive Prime uses the word sessions very specifically because our fancy slideshows are in fact not slideshows. Neither are they videos or movies. There is not a .mp3 or mp4 or .mov aspect to this tech. It's actually its own thing, and we've scientifically proven that when you view a Positive Prime session for 3 minutes, it literally impacts your brain dynamics and it puts you into a state of flow, which is super healthy. So there are 3 things that I want to draw your attention to right here. Let's just say you know you want to see Jackie's session. You can actually put in Jackie and it should come up, and this is Jackie Simmons leaving Shouldville, and you can play the session. But what I would suggest that you do before you play a session is that you actually personalize it. Personalizing your sessions makes them more powerful. Personalizing your sessions makes them more powerful. That's for sure. Now, guess what? Considering we're here, I'm going to literally show you what arrived in the mail for me today. It's from Amazon, and I raced up to my letterbox. It's about a walk. My driveway is just over 500 meters long. I live in Australia, so I work in meters. And what have I got here? I am evolving from Bernardo Moya. But guess what? I thought it was going to be Jackie Simmons' new book. And so Jackie Simmons, come on out. I can tell you that Bernardo is one of our great authors. So I definitely will be handing this book to my spouse, Cameron, because Bernardo has actually written this book for men in particular. Alrighty, so Jackie, are you there? Should we actually make you a co-host for 1 second and you can talk about your book and about your session that's coming?
There we go. I think I'm back. There we go. Sorry about that. Love to. Thank you so very, very much. The book is Make It a Great Day. The Choice is Yours, Volume 2. And it is very near and dear to my heart. It actually launched a week ago and it happened to hit in the middle of a hurricane, which is why I'm not in my normal office. I'm actually somewhere else because this is where there's Wi-Fi and there's no Wi-Fi at my house or my office. The book has
I was
in
just
it.
going to say, that would mean, Jackie, that you're in Florida, the United States of America. For those people who don't actually have their entire universe revolving around the hurricane. So our wishes, our thoughts, our prayers, our love extends to everybody who's impacted. There was actually a huge equivalent typhoon in Philippines at exactly the same time. So the world is being inundated with all sorts of dramatic weather at the moment.
It had the potential to be very dramatic, and I got very lucky. So I'm very blessed, and all my tree branches just piled up in between my house and my cars, and so had no significant damage. Amazing stuff. And The book is amazing. And the reason why it's been produced and why we had a bestseller campaign around it and continue to push to keep it on the bestseller list is because it includes the rules for emotional cage fighting. This is how to have the talk that stops suicidal thoughts from getting stuck in someone's head. And it's got all of the instructions for it. So along with the instructions that are in the book, I do have a second positive prime session coming out, and that is active gratitude. Unleash the power of appreciation. So this session is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm in final review of the slides and all of the music and everything that goes into a session. So Kim, thank you for giving me an opportunity to share both about the book, the upcoming session, and as always, I'm on a mission to end teen suicide. I'm the director of the Teen Suicide Prevention Society, and so that's what's driving all of these things. So the first session you can watch already is Leaving Shouldville. Get yourself out of Shouldville. Stop shoulding on yourself and others. That's what that session is all about. And I love the fact that this particular platform allows for those messages to get past your critical thinking brain and into your other than conscious mind easily and effortlessly. All you got to do is hit play. So lots of fun, Kim. Thank you, as always.
Absolutely my pleasure. So let's go back to giving you a very quick tour about how to make the most of Positive Prime, shall we? So I'm going to screen share. I can't wait for my book to arrive. I know we've ordered it and it must be winging its way to Australia right now. Okay, so I, as you saw, put Jackie's name up here into the search bar, and then I actually got her session and I pressed play. But I will tell you that every single session that we create with Positive Prime, we do so with the author. And I want you to feel like Jackie is literally on your shoulder, or she's face to face with you, or she's wrapped her angel wings around you, and her wisdom, her experience, her brilliance, her insights, suggestions, and recommendations are lovingly, in terms of their intention, they're lovingly gifted to you through her Positive Prime session. And our scientific research has actually proven that when you consume the content, and how do you consume the content? All you need to do is see it. You don't even need to read the words. You just watch it gently flow over you by playing the session. Let me give you a quick example. So we get a session underway. We say that we're feeling, and I am indeed happy. And then I usually go a little bit faster. While I'm on Zoom, I'm just going to mute the music. The music to this session is absolutely fabulous. And so go a little bit faster, allow it to wash over you. I want you to feel like you're swimming in a pool of positivity, right? So dive in, allow it to just wash over you. Now, I always watch a Positive Prime session on full screen. So hover over the player and click full screen. And then when you're done, you can go back to the making the actual player smaller, and you can figure out how else. But even when you're in full screen, you can hover over and you can control down the bottom, faster and slower. I'm often asked, does it matter how fast or how slow? I'm going to tell you, do what makes you feel comfortable. You do not need to read the words in order for them to go into your other than consciousness, which is much more deeper than your subconscious, by the way. We're actually dealing with something beyond just your conscious and subconscious mind here with Positive Prime. We have lots of tutorials and extra resources that allow you to understand what it is that I'm going to say about how and why it works. So do you want to see that? If I was to abort this session and I had 52 minutes left on speed 1, I would literally just maybe pause it and go back over here to dashboard. I don't think that that particular session will actually, it didn't count for today. And the reason why is because I aborted it. I didn't watch it all the way to the end. So I would suggest that you speed it up to speed 9 or maximum and go all the way to the end and make sure you finish your sessions. But here is where I really want to guide you. It was in the menu. Look for free resources. It'll open up another page, and this page will actually load, and there's lots of really great short videos here. Videos that explain to you what, why, when, where, and how. I would suggest that you go through them. Positive Prime is actually incredibly powerful. It's really phenomenal. And I think it's important if you're going to use a tool like this and you want all of the goodness to actually start oozing out of you, that you understand how and why it actually works. And so there's lots of videos here. There's also some other presentations. And these presentations are down the bottom. They're full recordings of essentially classes that have been delivered by others to explain the power of positive prime. There's one coming from the beautiful Nani Sheshia, and that's going to be added here soon. Alrighty, so let's go back here. And what I wanted to essentially say to you is that if you don't yet know, you can invite up to 4 others to actually share your account. If you want to see what you've got, maybe you've got upgrade account in your dashboard. And if you've got upgrade account, you can always go back here and see what did you have access to for paying. And yes, buy for the price of one. You can share with your family or friends or your clients or your students. You can go and do that. Now, I actually just really, while I'm here, I want to kind of talk to you about a little story I told somebody yesterday. I absolutely love Jack Canfield. I think he walks his talk. He was actually one of the featured teachers in that phenomenon that is the movie called The Secret, or the book. He's considered one of the leaders of the transformational human potential movement. Anyway, his particular session is called The Success Principles. And so with Jack, we actually summarized his incredible book, The Success Principles. And this is a summary. It's the essence and the energy of the main messages that you might want to go into your other than consciousness, so that you actually literally start to have this very organic and natural behavior change. So what usually happens with people is they read these amazing, very, inspiring books by these famous authors who are very, very successful. And then they decide they're going to make some changes, but very often we don't follow through or we don't follow up. And one of the reasons why is because the content was not actually absorbed by your identity. And positive prime is the solution to that very big problem. There's this huge, let's call it pink elephant, a balloon in the room. And the reality is that most of the transformational industry or the coaching industry don't really like to talk about the fact that most human beings, when they hear something for the first time or the second time or even the 7th time, don't actually apply what it is that they're learning. They know, but they don't do. And one of the reasons why is it's not a part of their beingness, their actual character and personality, or their identity, as we might call it in the field of psychology. And so I set out to create or invent what is a positive prime session so that I could actually bypass my humanness, the bit that, whatever you resist persists, the bit that actually rejects anything that is not familiar to us, anything that we don't really know. So if I've never been outrageously successful and made tens of millions of dollars a year, all of the great advice, suggestions, or recommendations I'm given, I might actually not even hear, let alone apply. But if I see all of the wisdom and the instructions inside a positive prime session, my other than consciousness is wrapping itself around that beautiful content, and I'm then going to start to have it emerge out of who I'm evolving into be. And I'm using very specific language here. So that is actually what happened with Jack Canfield. We summarize the essences of the actual messages that were core and key in the success principles, and we turned it into a positive prime session. We actually did so with his global head of training and development for many, many years. His name's Robert McPhee. And let me actually just show you Robert's session, because Robert's session is fantastic as well. It's called Excellent Decisions. And Robert McPhee is one of the greatest people, most gorgeous human beings, extremely accomplished, walks his talk as well. And Robert McPhee is who we worked with because he's really good friends with Jack. And he, in fact, worked for Jack for over a decade. And now he and Jack do all sorts of other projects. So what I'm trying to share with you is that within Positive Prime, we have lots of amazing, let's call them sessions. I want you to think of them as training programs that allow you to accelerate your learning. You're actually going to learn more, and then you're going to retain it and recall it and apply more, and that's part of the science. I'll show you where you can find out a little bit more about this. but maybe you've heard of the name Joe Vitale. He was also in the movie The Secret. There are incredible world-class coaches who are actually featured here, but you know what? I don't know of another platform where you have over 100 programs or positive prime sessions that are really just the most important juicy bits of somebody's teaching available to you 24/7 and all in the price of your subscription. So you can watch as many sessions as you like per day from as many different amazing people. And what I love for myself, and maybe you'll love this too, is that I often don't think naturally like Dana Wilde. Like I don't naturally think like Jackie Simmons. I don't naturally think like, and do you know what? I actually watched Brenda's this morning and I love it. It's called Illuminate Your Magic. And sometimes some of us just need a little bit of a reminder that we are in fact miraculous and there is magic within us and life can be magical. And we need to focus on that, which helps us to really be present and in the moment and realize that there is magic all around. And so sometimes I watch a session because I need the reminder, or in fact, it's good for me. It's like nutritional nurturing. That's the name of another session, but it's like nutritional nurturing for my emotional and physical and financial, my personality, my body, my life, right? Now, of course, maybe you've heard of someone super famous, Sean Acor, but let's just go here. Before we dive into Sean's, the thriving life. Thriving is actually a concept in positive psychology. And Susie Vine is an incredible executive coach. And she actually is one of those people who goes into large corporations and teaches them the fundamental foundations of, or from the field of positive psychology. She runs these workshops like Lunches and Learns. And so let me just tell you, if you wanted to be able to hack that, you might watch Sean Acor's The Happiness Advantage. So this is actually a summary of his book, The Happiness Advantage. And if you don't know who Sean Acor is, he's a very famous positive psychology expert. He's a specialist in this field. He has a very famous TED Talk by the name of The Happiness Advantage. He has a very, very successful book. We're talking sold millions and millions and millions of copies. Now, there's something that I think is really, I believe, interesting for all of you. And I'm going to give you a secret link. It's actually positiveprime.com/tutorial. Positiveprime/tutorial, right? Positiveprime.com, of course, /tutorial. And if you come here and you scroll down, I'm going to give you the go straight to this area. You can read more about Sean. And if you have not yet, I would encourage you to watch Sean's TED Talk and watch what Sean says about Positive Prime. And then the interesting thing is that Positive Prime was the activity or exercise he included in his Science of Happiness e-course that he did with Oprah Winfrey. In fact, I've got a great photograph of that. I might put that back on this page. So in order for the Positive Prime sessions to appear inside his Oprah Winfrey Network course, effective, objective, third-party research had to be completed to prove Positive Prime's efficacy. We actually had to prove that it worked and it did no harm. And so Sean Acor and his wife, Michelle Gillen, actually led a piece of research trying to understand what does a Positive Prime session actually do and what's the promise of it and why should it be included on the Oprah Winfrey Network in terms of an integrated exercise or activity inside that program. And this is actually their statement about what a Positive Prime session does. Now, it actually allows you to increase what you consciously remember about content, right? And when we tested the subjects or the participants in the research, they actually could recall the information an hour later. Now, I know that this might not sound all that significant, but in the world that is training and development, I am actually saying something that is very profound. It's like that. This is breaking news stuff, right? And guess what? Not even anywhere near as amazing as the statement that you'll find also on this page about the research that we did with brain-computer interface specialist, neurotech specialist, Dr. Avinash Singh. And when it says that a Positive Prime session puts you into continuous synchronization and alpha and theta power, what that basically means is you're in a state of flow. What happens when you're in a state of flow, right? When you're in a state of flow, guess what happens? You literally make much better quality decisions faster. They're more accurate. There have been case studies done. There have been doctors who've been negatively primed, positively primed, and neutral primed. And then they've been given a case study. And those that were positively primed came to more accurate diagnoses faster. That's a very, very significant outcome. And that particular research was repeated in all sorts of other professions, including for stockbrokers or people who are involved in financial services. They made more accurate decisions about their trades and made more profits. Yes, you heard me right. If you want to make sure that you optimize your performance in the area of finance, make sure that you're positively primed. I'd watch as many positive prime sessions as you can. Maybe it's 1 in the morning, 1 at lunchtime, and 1 in the early evening or the afternoon. Maybe it's 3 in the morning, 2 at lunchtime. Maybe you do a mid-morning pickup. But I would argue you should never, ever, oh, there's that word, shouldville. I would recommend that you always positively prime yourself before you go into a meeting. It is scientifically proven you will make better quality decisions. They'll be more accurate. You'll come to that decision faster when you are positively primed. The other thing that we've been able to prove scientifically in the world that is positive psychology and neuroscience with respect to positive priming, and in particular our sessions, is that you'll be more creative. You'll be able to solve more complex problems with more creativity and out-of-the-box thinking. That's huge. We also know that people actually experience less pain when they're positively primed. So there's actually a particular piece of research that was done where people were experiencing acute pain. Now that they actually put the subject's hands into a bucket of ice, and they had the people hold their hand in a bucket of ice, and it started to really hurt. I'm sure that some of you have had experience a bit like this. Anyway, the positively primed people could actually hold their hands in the ice for longer and reported feeling less intensity in the pain. The negatively primed people actually had to pull their hand out much sooner and reported that they felt a lot more pain on an acute scale. Being positively primed impacts the way that you experience life. I could spend the next half an hour telling you about a lot of other research studies that have been done, but suffice to say, I would positively prime myself, and I would suggest that you do too, if you just literally want to go through life with more grace and ease. And if you would like to actually be in vibrational alignment at a higher frequency in a state of flow, it'll make you a much nicer person to be around. That's the truth. There's a lot of research around social conviviality or the ability for people to actually reduce their social anxiety when they're positively primed. We actually have sessions to that effect. You can watch some, go and put the word confidence in, or courage, or resolving conflict. There are all sorts of content there for you in Positive Prime. So usually this tour of Positive Prime is about 30 minutes. Each one focuses on a different aspect of Positive Prime, and we can actually send you to the Positive Prime tour page. And that particular page has been created so that you can go and have a look at the previous recordings that we've been doing. So let me just go and show you what the link is. It's positiveprime.com/tour/ positiveprime.com/tour/. Let me put those two links here into the actual chat in Zoom. Okay, so before we go, we've got a couple of seconds. Anybody want to ask a question? Anybody want to ask a question? Please do feel free. I can see that there's a Scott there. If you don't want to come on out and unmute yourself or take yourself off video, you can always put your question in the actual chat area. Okay. Hello, Scott. So lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Have you watched many Positive Prime sessions yet?
No, not yet. Not like I should. Not like Susie wants me to.
Okay. All righty. Well, whatever it's worth, even though you might feel or think it's not actually doing anything really all that remarkable, I promise you it is to your brain dynamics. And our research had EEGs and eye tracking and skin conductance and heart rate variability, and it is absolutely doing something remarkable for you. It's literally happening inside 3 minutes. There aren't very many things that work that quickly on planet Earth that are actually accessible 24/7, available and affordable. So that's what I'm really proud about in terms of Positive Prime. We provide an enormous amount of value, particularly when our subscribers actually share their account with 4 other people. 5-1 makes this a no-brainer. Thank you. All righty. Jackie, before we go, I can see you're on the edge of your seat. Anything you'd like to add just before we leave?
As always, it's just delightful to spend time with you, Kim. And
thank you.
I love what you just said, because my guy, Mark, is like, it doesn't do anything. And my own experience is a little bit different. My students' experience is very different. And for Mark, it is, okay, I'll watch it. And the truth is, our brains get rewired. I love that you brought it up. We are being rewired. Our brains are being trained. We're basically brainwashed by everything that we put in front of us. And with Positive Prime, we have control over that for the first time.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely. And Jackie, it's funny because I was in a very in-depth conversation with somebody earlier this week, and it was about, does Positive Prime really do something for people who are as evolved or as enlightened, and I think that it was actually a rather arrogant stance from them. Nonetheless, let's not pass any judgment here. I really was in this moment where I was saying to them, that would be like Roger Federer saying he didn't need a coach in tennis. Are you kidding? Right? Those of us who actually play at the top of our field, we need and we actually allow in mentors, guides, coaches, people who will advocate for us, people who will encourage us.
Hold us accountable sometimes.
Right. Yeah. So I actually find that the more successful I become, the more I need Positive Prime, even when I think I don't actually need it because I've got things under control. And then things actually start to go just a little bit awry. And guess what? Bang. I prime myself again with a session. I do at least 3. And all of a sudden, I'm feeling like I can go out there and really, for me, it's about being more energetic and aligned with what it is that I'm trying to bring. It allows me big picture thinking, but it allows me to be very balanced and experience equilibrium. And I can't do that any other way than Positive Prime. And I've tried almost every other intervention on planet Earth, and I'm trained in a lot of those modalities.
Oh, yeah. I get that. Being a multi-certified expert. Yep.
You get it.
Yeah, I get it. And this one's a lot of fun. Not all of them are. This one is easy. It doesn't require reps at a gym. This is easy.
It is easy. You're absolutely right. Jackie, you and I are friends. I will call you on WhatsApp. Love you.
Sounds
Speak
good.
to you later.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.